Cool, excellent. Well, welcome everybody to this presentation. I will explain the Fez hat very briefly. It's good for marketing. Jaanga is a company of Moroccan origins. These days it's headquartered in Canada, where the owner of the company is headquartered due to the services side of the business with the French-speaking Quebec customers. But Jaanga is also a marketplace, app vendor, and yeah, we're worldwide, and this is why we're here in Poland as part of our emerging markets. So we chose Poland specifically because of the country and its amazingness. So I'm going to take this off because it's hot as hell. So I did want to do it. I've done it enough for the photos, for the marketing, so that's good. But yes, welcome to our presentation today. There's no crowd in cloud. A few of you I've already spoken to, I recognize. So let's get this started with our agenda points, and then I have a question already when introducing this. So the looming deadline, March 2029, data center end of life, and the crowd crisis. If you know crowd, this is a very good presentation for you. You're about to learn a lot. So show of hands here with us today. Who from you is a data center user? Okay, very good. Who of you is on cloud? Okay, very good. Who from the data center customers is going to stay with Atlassian in the next few years, or you're already looking to a different platform? Is anyone considered, yeah? Or anyone looking at different platforms already? Or you know you're going to stay with Atlassian? I'm sure there's a few of you researching. We can discuss that later. So yeah, we're going to go over the whole data center end of life and the crowd crisis and what that means. Then we'll dive into the technology gap, why Atlassian Guard isn't enough. So for those of you already starting to make some plans for your cloud migrations, who here knows about Guard? Hands up if you already researched Guard. One show of hands, two, okay. Who hasn't heard of Guard before and has no idea what it is or what it does? Okay, this presentation is going to be great for you as you move to cloud. Third one is the solution. We are a marketplace vendor. We have a really cool app, one of our many, called Group Ambassadors. We're going to focus on the cloud version today to excite you for what's coming in the future. And then round off with our operational value and customer insights. So, the migration fog. Who here has ever experienced or is currently still experiencing a migration headache? No? No headaches? Yeah. Not yet. Some worries. So, yeah. Today I want to focus on why moving from data center, and in particular for those of you who are using cloud at the moment, why moving to the cloud is causing this migration fog. It leaves an unexpected operational vacuum for your group administration. From the data center users amongst you, who here has more than 100 groups that you're managing? Oh, very good, awesome. 4 hands went up. It is difficult, right? Challenging, I would say, to keep all of these groups under control. Where'd that go? Where's my fancy photo? Oh, I had a really nice picture of the booth. Anyway, it's not there. I had a picture of the booth, but it's gone. So before I dive into this, just to introduce myself, my name is Andy. I'm known quite affectionately in the Atlassian ecosystem as Fun Man Andy, which is a nice badge I wear with pride. I'm working for Jaanga. We're doing a huge emerging markets pilot right now across using Poland as our identification for our apps growth and stuff like that. And I am an Atlassian experience architect. I've been doing digital transformation and change management for over 20 years. And about 16 years of that is helping a lot of people that use the Atlassian tool sets and the Atlassian platform. So I have very deep knowledge of everything. Right now for our Pledge 1%, I'm doing charity work for the National Deaf Children's Society of the UK, so we're connecting in cloud, we're connecting all of their goals, their plans, building out their dashboards and fun stuff like that. And my claim to fame is that I once migrated a perfect, beautiful cloud system back to a server enterprise system. So if you think data center to cloud migration is painful, that is only a fraction of the pain of going from a perfect system backwards into server. So navigating this migration maze, moving from data center, brackets crowd, to cloud often exposes a jarring reality, which is there is no crowd in cloud. So a lot of our customers that we talk to, both on the data center and on the cloud side, or they are already mid-migration and they want some assistance from us with their migration, a lot of them are overwhelmed by additional IT tickets that aren't being handled by automation. Data center customers can't use AI. Cloud customers haven't worked out how to use AI to solve it. And they get a lot of tickets asking, can I have access to this? I can't see this screen, et cetera, because people aren't in the right groups. And then what that causes is huge friction operationally. A lot of admins are really tired of all of these additional tickets and everything like that. We had one customer last year was receiving 12,500 tickets per year just to ask for group management and stuff like that. So our claim to fame is that recently we've helped Disney Experiences. This is the group that manages everything from parks and experiences through to the apps you use if you go to one of their parks, all of the digital experience as well. And they were really busy with their migration, big crowd user. All of their identity management was with crowd. And then they had a massive problem just as they were coming to the point of finalizing their proof of concept. They took Guard from Atlassian and they suddenly realized that everything they were doing with crowd was not possible at all with Guard. So it's amazing that Shane, based out of Florida, he lives very close, not by choice, just by chance. He lives very close to Disney World, Florida. He was really nice to give us this quote because it has helped them massively. So there is no crowd in cloud, and if you don't use crowd, you have a lot of workarounds, really good scripting. Let's say you have Script Runner, for example. It's also not going to work with Guard, and you're going to have a lot of challenges with cloud. So that's where we come in. Group ambassadors basically restores that seamless day-to-day operations and group self-management without expanding the average admin privileges, giving away all of the control, but you're sharing the power, which is great. So let's look at identifying the gaps in terms of data center, in terms of cloud, and what's going on. If you're on data center today and you want better group management, you want to be able to delegate to people so you have that seamless experience, crowd is a great way to go. But what's interesting is the last 2 years, we've discovered that people like to add group ambassadors to their crowd experience because there are some minor gaps when it comes to full delegation and the control. If we flip it on its head to Atlassian Guard, this is functional. It works really great, but very much on that high level. So you have your SSO, you can control all of the groups and stuff like that within Guard. It's strong for identity and security, but it is lacking in a lot of the detailed technical functionalities. That's where Group Ambassadors by Jaanga comes in, is we fill all of those technical gaps. So if you're missing something from crowd or from your own workarounds in data center, if you are about to move to cloud or you're already in there and you're trying to work out whether Guard is working for you or not, then that's where we're going to restore all of that operational workflow. It's hyper UX and UI friendly, does exactly what it needs to do, and helps you control everything that you're doing when it comes to sharing your power with the people that you delegate to. All right, so securely delegating Jira and Confluence group management to your non-admin users. So that's the key term. We're talking about people who are non-admin. Basically, what we're doing is just assisting the admins avoiding the burnout. So a lot of times what we experience with people is that they are not so advanced in using Script Runner or their own scripting, building customized apps in Connect or using Forge, which is the new Connect in cloud. And so it's causing a lot of manual mayhem within organizations and within their IT. Whoop. So what we are doing is we're nominating, basically. We create these ambassadors. So as a great example, Andy, let's say he's the marketing manager of 400 people within an organization that's 10,000 large in terms of license seats on cloud. And Andy's team is constantly going to IT with tickets, going, I can't access this, I need to see that, etc., etc. What can happen is the admin can come to Andy and go, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the power to be able to just update your own groups. So if you have a new employee onboarding, or if you notice that your team is not functioning properly, then you'll be able to say to Andy, okay, now you're in charge. You are a non-admin user who has that admin power. The beauty is that it provides Andy with all of that amazing administration power, but it still gives the admins full control over everything securely. It also safely handles all of the bulk initiatives, so user addition and removals, revoking someone's administration rights as an ambassador is one button. And it just works flawlessly alongside stuff like SCIM. Who here is heavily into SCIM from the crowd? One person? Yeah. So all of that stuff, it works perfectly with that. So let's talk interesting numbers about complete control and visibility. You have a full overview, 100%. So everything that is going on with your ambassadors, what they're doing, full audit logs, you can see exactly where they have been provided, group management, administration powers, everything that happens is basically fully tracked within one screen. 95% migrated success. So we're doing a heavy amount of support to make sure that, I think it's like a year and a half now, we've been getting more and more tickets. This year alone, we had 75, just to help with migrations when it comes from either crowd to cloud or data center to cloud, and people prefer our app. That number was low last year, it was around 50%, because we had to do a heavy amount of support. But we've increased the abilities within our app for migration assistance without having to contact our teams directly. But if you fall into that 5% that needs the additional help, then we just provide additional services through our support tickets and stuff like that. In theory, the number is 100%, but sometimes some people have to raise an IT support ticket just to make it work. And then 0%, that's an interesting number we'd like to present, which is the amount of admin permissions that are needed. So we're basically removing all of your blockers when it comes to manual IT tickets, when it comes to requests coming from other people. You don't need to say, go to Andy and just go, I'm just going to make you an admin and you deal with it. You're going to have to learn Jira. You just say to Andy, well, I know which groups you are related to and you're responsible for within your work. So Andy his teams have all of these Jira projects. For those of you already in cloud, Spaces, that's a fun one. And then you know where Andy is allowed to work within his authority, and so that is all natively, naturally handled within our app. So a very brief overview of group ambassadors in action. Our UX and UI is designed to be very, very self-intuitive. We have our support documentation. We're on hand as well to help you from IT support perspective. It's very quick to set up your ambassadors. It's literally a 3-step process. Your overview of all your different ambassadors, whether you've assigned someone according to they are just one user, or you want to assign ambassadors from an entire group, is very nice and high level. You can dive down into it as well when you're looking at it all. And then you have your audit trail as a great example. So you're looking at what they're doing, when they're doing, and you can filter out how to find that all really easy. So there's a quick demonstration of just how easy it is. Right now I'm on the administration side of Jira under the marketplace apps. So here's where we find group ambassadors on the left. And then I can just say, well, what group do I want to create an ambassador for? Let's say I wanted something like one of the JSM groups. Oh, Jira. Okay. And then here, in the second step, I can decide whether I just want to make it a single user. So I could put in my colleague Theodora. But I can also say an actual whole group that is already existing. So you can also pinpoint someone. If it's Andy, marketing manager, I could just do Andy. But if Andy's part of a wider group of marketing Jira users, I could select marketing Jira users in here and go by the group. So very quickly and very easy, just set up that group. Oop. Okay. So now we can see in our overview an enterprise of, say, 1,000 users and more. You're going to have a lot more groups than this. This is a very simple demo site just to show the ease of setting this up. You can see which users you've put in as your delegates. You can see if it's per user or per group, and then you'll see on the right-hand side all of the groups that they're assigned to. And then you have full control over what power you've loaned out to somebody, and you have control over what they're doing. In terms of other aspects of that control, you can go in and you can set current limits. So let's say Andy's awesome, Andy loves this, he's doing his work, but you also need to control how many people Andy can also then delegate as well as part of the ambassadors. So you can say, oh, Andy's allowed, say, 2 more people. So you can set a limit within that group to say how many you end up with. One thing that's hyper important is the group policies. I'm gonna stay on this one. So if there is a specific policy for your security, for your risk management, that a certain group can't do certain activities within Jira, you can build it all here as well. So instead of worrying, oh, I've given group management permissions to Andy, and I'm worried what he's gonna do with his 400 people, I don't want him, say, to be able to go and change Jira admin users or anything like that, even though he's part of the group officially. So I can go in and I can write a policy for that and make sure that it all works. And then the last one that I wanted to show you within the system live is the logs. So this is a very simple system I use just to show startup when using an app for the first time. But anything that's happening within your system is going to be fully logged in here. And then you can filter out very simply from the ambassador, user, or the group, and then a main group itself, so that you can find all of your logs really quickly. Under the admin tools, this one is the most popular. So I can come in and just very rapidly, with the click of a button, just revoke the access if it's necessary. So I can come in and say, Andy, whoop. Theodora probably best. There we go, Theodora. And I just hit revoke all, and it's gone. So if there's any concerns, risk concern, security concern, maybe the person leaves the company, that's where you can come in and just go with one button. I just want to remove them. There are other really cool features as well that I won't demo today, but just to highlight them. So you can even do this with API tokens. So you can build API tokens. Brand new that we've just launched, and we're busy writing the support documentation online for this, is the scoped API token. This is quite cool. If you want to speak to our technical product owner about this, he would love to get some UX feedback. So if anyone has some time, we're looking for some UX feedback on the scoped API token. Okay. Whoop. All right. For the full story on there's no crowd in cloud, we have this blog online, so that QR code is live and that works. So you can readily check that out. So if it interests you, please scan that right now. We've helped a lot of people, and they've helped us write this blog based on their experiences, so it's really cool. We're just waiting for Disney's final permission, which is very difficult to put them in this blog. But we're pretty soon, some of our other customers are going to give us permission to put their logos in and their quotes that we've received from them into this blog, so that's really cool. And yes, a lot of people have never heard of Jaanga before. That's why I'm working as Atlassian Experience Architect, especially with Poland as the first country in our emerging markets pilot, to spread the word and let people know what Jaanga is and what we do and stuff like that. So we have a variety of apps. We've got our ambassador series. So what I just showed you under the story of There's No Crowd in Cloud, we have group ambassadors. But we also have custom field ambassadors, pretty much the same principle, except it's all about custom fields and having full control over custom fields. We also have Chronovo, which is a control on budgets, assets analytics, really great dashboard that sits on top of assets and gives you a very nice, simple, but powerful overview. And we also have Billwise. Billwise is basically for those of you who have a lot of commercial work in Jira where people are logging time or you're billing against user stories or something like that for a customer, you can use Billwise to send out automated invoicing based upon approved timesheets. And then something that's quite popular with a few of our customers is the bulk linker. So this is going to be able to edit edit links on a bulk level. So you don't have to go into all the links one by one to manage them. So if you're interested in learning more about us directly from the marketplace, feel free to use that QR code and scan and find our page. And why is that picture not showing? Very disappointing. It's gone. It's disappeared. Whoop. It's disappeared. Anyway, that was a really cool picture of me on the booth. Oh, it's disappeared. Very fun. Very weird. Anyway. So yes, there it is, it's back. So if you want to have a more in-depth chat about no crowd in cloud, anything to do with your upcoming cloud migration experiences, my 16 years of Atlassian and 20 years is fully available for you the rest of the day today and all of tomorrow. So please come find us at our booth. It's really easy to find us when you need the toilet. We are right there next to it. So if you're like, oh, where are the toilets again? You just look for Andy, the big black booth, and you'll be like, oh, it's in the far corner. If you want to, you can also reach out directly. My email is andy@jaanga.ca. And yeah, I would love to speak to you all. And I think Almarise will be very happy with me because I'm only 3 minutes over my allotted time slot that they asked me to stay within. And I will stay here for another 7 minutes until the next speaker kicks me out. So if you want to come chat already, then I'm ready, available here. And if not, I'll either see you at the booth or at the planetarium this evening or the happy hours. So before we depart, because I don't see anyone waiting at the door, are there any questions? No? No questions about? Sure, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, it all comes down to the control and the audits. I was talking a year and a half ago with Leidos, which is a huge security technology hardware company in the US. If you travel through a US airport, you'll see that technology. They normally the ones with the gates doing the scans and everything like that. There's 35,000 data center enterprise license agreement, and then they have huge amount of multi-instances where everyone has to do their own control within each different division on their own instance. And they said our group management is just uncontrollable. That's why they were looking into us. And they already know me from years ago with custom charts for Jira. And so it's very challenging for them to understand the full extent of how they are controlling and what they are doing. It becomes a little bit of the payoff of what a company has to do additionally in terms of the culture shock or the change within the culture. So if you have, let's say you have a team lead and they are ideal to provide group ambassadors to with their delegation, you are going to have to sit with them, train them, have them understand the policies. It's going, especially for enterprises in terms of the corporate, it's what they have to do anyway for their job in terms of security. Most people have to sign some form of affidavit or they have to go through their trainings and stuff like that. The payoff is that, yes, you would have to sit with someone. Someone has to control the logs. You have to know to what extent something is going on. But a few hours a year to make sure that that happens compared to countless tickets in huge systems of someone going, I just need access to that. There's a big payoff in the time that you save, you know, in terms of that. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've had that conversation twice today because you're already on cloud? No, it's some, yeah. So Active Directory is just working exactly the same in cloud as well. So I had a great conversation with someone today when they were telling me about how they use Active Directory and that it's the master of everything and that's how they're controlling their groups. So very honestly, unless you need additional flexibility in your Atlassian stack underneath what Active Directory is already doing, you won't need our app. I'm very honest and open about that. But what some people, one of our customers has Entra ID, which is from PO, marketplace app provider. So on their cloud system, they use Entra ID to be able to integrate AD with Atlassian stack. That's when it would be very interesting for them because they could do additional flexibility within Atlassian, but they're getting the information in their master repository of AD. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. In that case, you probably would be less interested in group ambassadors because you have everything exceptionally organized in AD. So if you're not, okay, well, assumption on my part, apologies for that. It sounds like you use AD quite well, probably a better way to state it. Yeah. But when companies are looking, especially on a grander scale, 10,000 user plus or something like that, that's when they'll be looking at how to control those different groups on a much wider scale. Had a great conversation with someone today who's got a DC of only 1,000, and they're even trying to reduce that down to 500. And they were like, "How can Group Ambassador help us?" It's like, "Well, how many groups do you have?" And we went through the whole use case, and it's like, not right. So, yeah. Yep, great questions and good additional insight. Thanks for that. Appreciate the input. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Okay. Anyone want to know my expectations when Atlassian is only worth $1 per stock in the near future? In America, they call it a penny stock when a company hits $1. So it's quite fun. There's about 600 American companies now only worth $1 per share. So, yeah. Any questions at all about anything to do with Atlassian? No? Cool. Does everyone mind if we do a quick selfie with the Fez? If anyone doesn't want to be in the selfie, feel free to leave the room or put something in front of your face, will identify you later and remove you with AI. I'm going to do the full version. Hold on. Do you guys in Polish have the equivalent of like the English cheese? Like when you're doing a photo and it's like cheese? Yeah? Just cheese? No, we'll just do the English version then. Cool. All right. Let's see if I can get everybody in. Okay. After 3, everyone say cheese. 1, 2, 3, cheese. That's very fun. Thank you all very much. Yeah, I'm here for 2 days. Thank you. And see you around. Perfect. Enjoy the rest of your conference.